Bam. Alrighty. What up, everybody? We are back with another podcast for the esports class. This week we are doing a shooter game review. So naturally, I chose Apex Legends, and I'm actually gathered here today with two demons from the Apex Legends scene, and then a phenomenal coach from Austin from the Nine. Guys, welcome. I just want to ask you a couple questions and try to get your little review on the great game of Apex and all that entails.
Hello, hello, hello.
Sounds good.
So first up on the dock, how long have you guys been playing Apex?
Too long.
Attorne, if you would like to start.
I started playing this game before there were even seasons on my computer with keyboard and mouse. And then I got it on console with my high school friends and started picking it up again around season 4 and then grinding harder in season 7. And here we are today.
Fire. Gulp.
I started in the end of season 10, so about a year ago. And
Got it.
I've just been playing since.
It has already been a year. Holy shit. That's kind of crazy. So, in your guys' opinion, what makes Apex appealing to casual players?
I think the battle royale genre in general has just been the most popular amongst players over the last like 5, 10 years. Not 10 years, but definitely the last 5 years since Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
And this game is bright, vibrant compared to like games like Call of Duty. And I think it's fun for casuals to just drop in, have fun with their friends, and when you don't have a win, that's all you grind for.
True.
Something new.
Yeah, for
I feel
sure.
like for years, the video game industry has seen kind of the same gameplay loop over and over and over again when it comes to first-person shooters, especially when it comes to the multiplayer aspect of it. Um, so when Fortnite came into the scene and introduced the battle royale with PUBG and now Apex, I think it feels like it's been a long time, but when you encompass the whole history of video games, it's really not, and it's still a new thing. So I think that's the one of the biggest things. It's something different.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Um, do you guys feel like the legends have to do anything specific, like towards gameplay? Like, is that something you feel like that makes it different or makes it harder to learn? Just like learning all the legend abilities and stuff like that.
A lot of games now have legends. A lot of the more popular games, like even Call of Duty, tried doing it with specialists. Overwatch has legends, Apex,
Mm-hmm.
League of Legends. That's where it started.
Yeah, Valorant.
Yeah, exactly. Every game now has abilities,
I mean,
different characters.
even games like Battlefield, they have different. I know they're not technically legends, but they're classes.
Mm-hmm.
You get each thing to something different, so it adds a uniqueness to each. Well, it lets you play any way you want.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's just like
Just how you want to play.
having different abilities on different legends makes you like want to try them all out type thing, and it keeps you on the game more. I feel like.
Keeps you
Each
in the game.
legend has like their own personality too.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, and it keeps you in the game personality, and also it keeps you on your toes when you're playing because there is uh, about almost 20 legends, 20 plus legends now in
Mm-hmm.
Apex. So, or maybe yeah, about 20ish legends. So, and there's 3 people to a squad, so you never know the exact matchup you're gonna run into.
Yeah, and you have to know how to like counter everybody and use your legends abilities to your advantage, which I think
Correct.
is kind of dope. Um, Speaking of legends, what legends do you guys play and why?
I only play one legend. I'll never get off my legend. The boys know that.
Who is that? A torn inform the audience.
I think it was in season 10 or season 11 where the game got changed completely from boots on the ground to one character having jetpacks and only one character. Other legends try to gain the height advantage, like my legend Valkyrie, for those that don't know. But none just compare to when she got released. They've nerfed her plenty of times, but no character just can take height, retake height, drop down, strafe in midair. Nobody can do it like Valk.
Is that why you main Valk is for that ability to take height and just kind of be all over the place, unkillable at
Apex
times?
is mainly all about movement and positioning. Of course, gun skill helps, but your positioning, being on
Well,
high ground.
with the time to kill, as long as it is, gun skill is not top priority like it is with some other games.
Yeah, you want to be on high ground. You want to have that advantage, and you want to be able to get out of situations that you wouldn't normally be able to get out of, like just flying up on top of a building.
Facts. I can attest to that many times when Tyler will fake drop down to get the enemy to drop down, and then he'll fly right back up to height and win the gunfight. I mean, it's kind of the Torn special at this point.
You gotta know. I don't play other legends, but you still gotta know what they can do and what they can't do.
Yep. Gulp. So, what legends do you play and why?
I play every little bit of everything, honestly. Horizon, Bloodhound, Seer, Wraith, Newcastle,
Maggie,
Maggie. Um, I'm kind of
a Swiss Army
still,
knife.
just do a little bit of everything. I prefer movement legends because, like Tyler just said, it's the game's mostly movement, and
Mhm.
if you're not playing a movement character, you really have to pay attention to where you're at, where other teams are at, where you can go. Because if you're on a cliff or below a cliff, and I'm not a movement legend, and we need to take that height, well, if Tyler is the only movement legend we've got, then we're kind of stuck.
Mhm.
So having more movement legends like Horizon, who has a Q, who if you haven't played Apex, is like it's like an elevator almost. Um,
Mhm.
just takes you up to height immediately. So it's really hard to play a non-movement legend in this game without without knowing how to properly play them.
Yeah, if you look up like the first year tournaments in Apex compared to the tournaments that just happened this last weekend or whatever, it's a completely different game. You'll see people on the ground most of the time, just like camping behind a Watson fence or whatever, behind rocks,
Mhm.
just like playing completely on the ground, slide jumping, that's about it. And now you'll if you look up the most recent tournament, you'll see people flying through the air, people jetpacking in the air. It's like the game's gotten more vertical, not just like it's become way less 2D.
Mhm. I feel like that's kind of what makes Apex competitive, and that's kind of my next question: is what do you guys feel like Apex does to make it more competitive than other first-person shooters?
Hmm. I think their tournament system's good because a lot of games it's not easy for like no names, essentially, people who aren't signed to big name orgs to get into these tournaments. Like COD, it's nearly impossible. Like there's only like 4 slots.
Mhm.
Apex, you can compete if you're good enough, you'll be in the pro league. You
Mhm.
just go through the circuit. But like COD, they limit you and they want it more of a franchise. Same with Overwatch. Franchise players, they're
Mhm.
all based in cities like what COD did back in the CDL League when everyone changed from what was it, like clans to
Yeah, it was CWL, and they switched it to CDL and franchised out. I think that was
yeah,
2019.
yeah. So I think Apex is easier in that sense, like for newer players, like newer pro players to get noticed, and that's why it's more appealing.
Yeah. Well, and I think it also is the type of game it is with the legends. It's a legend game with a in a BR.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of variables, a lot of things you have to consider. I know when you're playing scrims or like pro league rules, there's no heat shields, so you have to move earlier, if you don't have the best loot, well, that sucks. You got to move.
Hmm.
Can't just sit there and loot the entire time. So there's a lot of things you have to consider, which is I think that's why people who play ranked play enjoy it a lot because you really got to know your stuff, especially when you get to the higher ranks. Is people at the lower ranks, people use their legends how they're meant to be used.
Hmm.
Well, in the higher ranks, they use their abilities in different ways, in unique ways that people usually wouldn't expect. So that's another thing I people like it is just a lot of different things can happen that are unexpected.
I also think that the fact it came with a rank, or didn't come with a ranked mode, but has a built-in ranked mode, helps. Like
Yep.
people want to become master players or preds and stuff like that, and I think that helps a lot compared to like a game like Call of Duty. Like Call of Duty didn't drop with a ranked mode, and I think if it did, it would compete more with Apex in that sense of like being a competitive shooter.
Right.
Yeah,
Uh,
ranked is like a staple. I think Black Ops 2 ranked is something like a lot of people will look back on fondly.
mhm.
Um, Advanced Warfare ranked 2, great rank system. If I feel like it fell off after that, I don't even know if they had ranked after that. But I think Apex did it perfectly. Like a new player logs onto the game, you go to the rank tab and it shows you from bronze to Apex Predator. And
Mhm.
you see diamond, you see masters, and you want that. You see a trailing game, you want that. The
Mhm.
badges, like you want to grind for that. And so people will put in the time. And I don't know, it appeals to a lot of people.
I feel that for sure. Speaking of that appeal, what made you guys want to play Apex?
My friends,
Yeah.
like I didn't have really any interest until my friends started playing it, and I feel like that's most games, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
It's always better with friends.
Yep. Yeah. Peer
Yeah,
pressure.
I definitely peer pressured Gulp into playing this game,
Yeah.
and he told me he's never going to play this game. And then now we are up till 4 in the morning yelling at each other in ranked modes about what we could do better and shit. And I think it's
Well,
kind of crazy.
I think he started showing me back in season 8, season 7,
8.
and I
Yeah.
finally 8 was it 8? I finally caved and played the rest of season 10 by myself solo
Mm-hmm.
to figure it out, and then I jumped in with these guys in season 11.
It was kind of crazy, actually. Um, what was I going to say? Totally forgot. Um, so what do you guys feel like people can do to get better at the game overall?
Reps, time
I
playing.
I would say the one thing that when I wasn't the best player, the one thing that really boosted like my gameplay was firing range warm-ups. You can look them up on YouTube. There's plenty of good ones. Like watch any pro player, your favorite pro player, they definitely have a warm up. If you look on any Twitch stream, they warm up. And then after your warm up, play the game. Like you can't just warm up and get off. It doesn't really help.
Mm-hmm.
You hot drop construction, hot drop streamer building, fragment. That's what got me a lot better at the game initially. And then from there, you find a team, you play ranked, and you get better as a team.
I
Yep.
agree.
Well,
Uh,
and
go ahead, Park.
I think the biggest thing is putting yourself into positions that are likely to happen. It's like Attorne said, if he's playing, you're just doing firing range and you're not playing the game, you're not going to get any better.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not playing against any other legends other than like the 5 same legends you see because you don't play a lot, then you're going to run into a legend you've never seen, have no idea how they operate, and then get shredded because you've never seen it before. So I think
Also
it's
comes down to in a 1v1, who's been in more gunfights, who has more
right,
experience, who knows, like who's literally been through more situations. And
right,
sometimes like flukes will happen, the upset player will win, but majority of the time the practice like pays off.
right.
For
Especially in
sure.
a game with PTK like Apex, you in Call of Duty, they say that they cater to the noobs. Well, a lot of it is because the time to kill is extremely fast, and it's been extremely fast in the recent years. Well, Apex, you gotta put at least a mag and a half into them if you're gonna miss a couple shots. So it's gonna take quite a bit to kill them. So you just gotta be good, I guess.
Yeah, you can't just delete a guy as often. I'll say as often because there are times when you get that one clip and it's just spicy.
Well, and luck is almost non-existent in this game, unless it comes down to RNG.
But that's just like dropping hot on somebody type thing, which you probably shouldn't be doing that in ranked. Like you shouldn't be landing on the same hill or the same building, you know.
But we still do that.
Oh, we still do that, but built diff. So.
But you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, if you want to get better, if you want to get better at the game, you should be doing that. Yeah, for sure. What else? Austin, do you have anything you'd like to add? Being our unofficial coach.
You guys have handled it. I mean, I've seen you guys play.
Austin has the perspective of like someone who doesn't really play as much as us, but he's watched as much as us.
There's a definite skill gap in the game between where I would say I'm at and where you guys are, but I think it's attainable. If I followed like your guides and stuff, I mean, I could easily get there if I really tried to. So it's definitely a game that more people could play and get better at pretty quickly.
And it comes down to like who's hungry. Like we have friends like everybody's got friends that are not as great as them at the game. For example, like our friend Tommy. But they're hungry enough. They're playing by themselves. Like I'm gonna shout out Tom. He's grinding by himself, playing ranked by himself. He's trying to get better, and that's what you have to do to catch up to those friends that have been playing for way longer than you.
For real.
Well, and you also have some players that just aren't into the competitive nature of games, like casuals, like the definition of a casual. There's lots of gamers who I know that just play the game to play with friends and don't really care whether or not you play ranked or not. So it just depends.
I feel that for sure. If there's something you guys could change about Apex, what would it be and why?
Kyle, you can lead off with this one.
Oh, I got a lot of things.
Let's keep it short and sweet.
I will keep it short and sweet. One thing, if I was an Apex dev, I definitely would get this cross progression thing figured out, like ASAP. Gulp, I have 60 packet loss, by the way, so this is not going to go well. But, yeah, so cross progression, every other game has it. I've logged into Rainbow Six Siege cross progression. You got cross progression on literally, like, anything you could think of. Rocket League, Overwatch, Rainbow Six, probably even friggin' Call of Duty. But, like, for some reason, this game, they don't want to... Ubisoft, EA, whatever, they're money hungry. And everyone knows that. They've always been like that. So they don't want to give me my heirlooms. And Yaz, you know heirlooms are expensive.
Yep.
I can't be spending that money again.
Yep.
So I don't, But gameplay-wise, I'd make Valk stronger.
Oh my god, get out of here. Infinite jetpacks, no cooldown.
I think I would, like, keyboard and mouse has got to get a buff somehow. Because right now they're lacking. And like a lot of pros are switching over. And a lot of keyboard and mouse players are going to stop like playing the game or switch over to controller. So I think if we don't want to be like Call of Duty as a controller-only league, keyboard and mouse has got to get some buff somehow.
Do you feel like that buff would be technically like a nerf for controller, like nerfing aim assist or trying to make a change to controller?
Yeah, I think if they nerfed aim assist to point
3,
whatever, I think whatever they nerf it to, as long as it's not below 0.2, would be perfectly fine. Because, like, Rainbow Six has 0 aim assist in ranked, and you can still hit your shots after some practice. But, like, just give people some time to play without aim assist, and they'll be fine.
True. I feel like
Like
that's
a
a pretty
lot
good
of
thing.
pros do use advanced look controls anyway, so
Mm-hmm.
we'll see what happens.
Well, aim assist has caused numerous pros to move from keyboard and mouse to controller.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you anything.
Gulp.
I mean, I just moved.
I was gonna say you just recently moved to controller and it's become even more of a demon. Kind of crazy that it's not like there's a big jump of gameplay, but maybe it's like a confidence thing of like
Consistency.
that's what it is. It's more consistent. I feel like where you just actually one clip a kid, and I guess the way that we play, it's not very. It's not like we're gonna get to zone and try to snipe people off our god spot. Like we're gonna fight our way into. We're an edge team, and so we got to be able to fight. And I feel like controller gives the best advantage for that.
Right.
But Gulp, any other changes to Apex that you would like to say? Short and sweet.
Start. I think the biggest is audio in this game. I think that's my biggest gripe. I hate it when I'm fighting and we got at least 20 seconds of quiet time where we're not doing anything, we're just looting, and someone walks up behind me and shoots me, and it's the biggest character in the game, or a freaking Pathfinder who is literal metal stepping on other metal objects, and I can't hear them. I think that's the biggest, and then content. It's been lacking. They've had the
The
same
battle
game
passes
modes,
suck.
same everything for the past. We're in our 15th season now, and nothing's changed. So they've recently experienced a big drop off in player count, and I think that's the biggest reason why is content.
They keep just recoloring old skins. Like I've seen so many old skins just get random recolors, even paid skins that you have to pay like $20 for. They'll release a new colorway for it, $20 more. Nobody wants that.
For example, the most recent collection event, they usually in collection events they release heirlooms, which are normally $500 because they're 1 in 500, and an Apex pack is $1. Well, the collection event, they have 24 skins, and once you collect 24 skins or whatever the cosmetic items are, then you unlock the item that they're displaying for the collection event. Well, it's usually an heirloom or an heirloom. The newest thing is it's an heirloom skin or whatever. Well, this season it's a $10 battle pass recolor skin that they're doing for this collection event, and to get that skin, if you don't have crafting materials or don't already have Apex tokens, it's $160 to buy it
For a $10 skin.
for a $10 skin that came out 10 seasons ago.
That's why I was saying EA is money hungry. You can look at it back with like FIFA, Madden, 2K. They re-release the same game every year. Ultimate Team players by the same packs, same players every year. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Anyway, there's more, but
I was gonna say there's more, but that would be a 6-hour podcast. So
yeah, that's a podcast in its own.
I love the game, but the people that make the game, could be better.
could be better for sure. I'm honestly surprised you guys didn't say anything about Seer.
Yeah.
He's like he's
See,
bad, but
as much as I gripe about Seer, I mean, if you're, I don't know.
he was worse.
He was much worse when he first came out. So if you didn't experience that, then I would say that would be on the top of your list. But
I think Horizon is better than Seer. Because as a Valk main, the only player that can contest me is a Horizon. Because being able to beam someone going up a queue, if people even know what that is, like the elevator Gulp was talking about. Imagine going up an elevator and just like one clipping someone, and then you fall back down, heal up your shield, do the same thing again 2 seconds later.
That's what I do. That's what Gulp does. So
Yeah.
you feel like, in your opinion, Horizon should get a nerf before Seer?
I think they both should get nerfed, but
I think
I
they
think
all-
Seer as a recon legend is doing exactly what he's meant to do.
well, so here's if it were Seer were to get a nerf, or sorry, the reason people want Seer to get a nerf is because he's got so many abilities in one Q. You can cancel reses, cancel heals,
Cancel
which
Valcolts.
cancel Valcolts, cancel abilities, which also shows your health, like
Oh,
what
I'm
shields you
lagging.
have, how much health you have left,
Mm-hmm.
all in one thing. And then on top of that, his ult is wall hacks, literally wall hacks. So I think
I
that's the biggest reason is there's so much apart. Like
yeah.
there's so much. He's got so much, and you just got to take some away. You know.
I think a good nerf to Seer wouldn't be like his ultimate or anything. Like that's an ultimate ability. You should get that because you can also shoot it out. So you have to be weary of where it's placed. But I think the Q needs to not cancel anything. That's my kind of hot topic or hot what's it called?
That would be a good nerf.
Hot take.
Because he
Was
is like the anchor of the team.
yeah.
His job is to set up that ult and make sure the team doesn't push up so you guys can reset. His job is to not screw over the other team while playing anchor, like and
Mm-hmm.
just making everybody's day a living hell.
Because I think like if you take away the ability for him to cancel things, it's more like a bloodhound scan, like a tunnel bloodhound scan. Because like if you're fighting another bloodhound and you're on scan, you can like even though he might know where you are, you can still like kill him. You know what I mean? But if you're shooting a seer and then you go to take a bat, he cancels. You now have less health, and then he pushes you. Like there's no
Well,
defense to that.
he knows you. He canceled your heal, so that takes at least a couple seconds.
Mm-hmm.
He can see your health, so whether you're half, like full health or low health, he knows how much you got. Then he's got your position for at least 10 seconds, at least. And it doesn't matter what you do, you can't stop it at all.
Yeah, I think
There has to be a cleanse legend, if I'm being honest. A lot of games have cleanses. I think someone that if you get scanned, boom, they pop an ability, you're cleansed.
Right.
Like you're done. Like no more scan. Or um, another example would be like a fuse thing. Cleanse that. What else we got? Like an
like
arc
a
star
ult.
stick.
Or
Cleanse that.
like an ult that just like stops all
No, I'm
abilities.
thinking it would be like a Q, like your tactical.
Or like here, for example,
Like
so in Valorant,
Kiriko from Overwatch.
that one Valorant has a legend or an agent. I think it's like Echo or something. I can't remember his name, but he's a robot, and his ult literally stops all abilities, all of them. For if you're inside his radius, you can't use anything. So I think that would be a fantastic addition.
Yeah, I think they're gonna start adding the mobile legends first though, before
Yeah,
they
the Rhapsody and what's his name?
knock off
The,
Mirage.
yeah, the shapeshifter or whatever his name is.
knock
Yeah,
off
Mirage and Wraith, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
even know. But I think those will come back just because like I don't know, it was a separate company though, so you never know.
I don't know, kind of crazy. Is there any other last thoughts that you guys want to say?
Rest in peace, Apex Mobile.
Rest in peace, Apex Mobile for sure. Gulp, Os, anything to add?
I got a question for you.
Okay.
So, Seer's been in the game for a couple seasons. Why is it a problem now?
People just started realizing he was good again now.
His Watson started that.
Yes, after was it the grand finals last year? I think like a year ago today, or like no, when I was up there for your birthday, yes.
Yeah, that was the big Seer meta when he
That's
switched
when
it.
everyone realized Seer
Well,
was meta.
It's not even that. It's also the popularity of Apex. It shot through the roof at that point in time. So, Seer came out. He got nerfed. People knew he was broken. Didn't really pay attention to it. Well, when the game got super popular and they started acquiring all these new players, and then his Watson used him the way he used him, that's when it blew up.
I'm gonna say they started
So a lot of his exposure.
Furia literally changed the way Apex competitive was played, becoming like the first real edge team and like just aping everything with the Horizon Seer Valk, and just like waxing a lobby, and people didn't know how to counter Seer.
Well, that was the perfect counter to the Gibby Caustic Valk.
Mm-hmm.
It was Seer ult, Horizon Q to push them out of, or Horizon ult to push the Caustic team out of their barrels, and literally it was a perfect counter to that meta, which was the previous meta everybody ran, made the game so boring to watch. Every team sitting in a building, nobody pushing. So now you have this team just straight up aping everything, W keying everything, wiping everyone, and it was fun to watch.
It was fun to watch, but it's tough to play against.